Because of the delay in FM25's release, we have now got some more time, and that is enough time to do another Building a Nation save in FM24, and this time we are building the nation of Sweden, and we are kickstarting off with Helsingborg, the former team of Henrik Larsson. We have also time-travelled about 2 years back in the past to the 27th of February 2023. We currently reside in the second division in Swedish football, so job number one needs to be getting ourselves back up to the top division, and then once we're in the top division, we obviously need to try and win it, but ultimately, first few seasons, the goal is to get into European competitions to help build the club coefficients. Why have we picked Helsingborg to start things off? Well, they have got great training facilities and great youth facilities. They have got a very good young team as well. If I actually look at the squad, sort by age, we have got players who are 16 in the first team who are good enough to play loads and loads of 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds as well. I believe we've had a fake youth intake, and some of them are really good. Gustav Stenberg is a 16-year-old winger, or not winger, striker, sorry, and he's ridiculously good. We've got a few other players like this man as well. He's also pretty good. Salilovic, also not a bad player. So we've got a pretty good side. We've actually got, when it comes to potential, lots and lots of 5-star, 4.5-star, or even 4-star potential players. We have got a bright future ahead of us. The problem is, we are in the second division, so we need to get out of that pretty quick. Bit of a stumbling block, though, in Season 1 is we don't have any money. We are not in debt. We've got £640,000 in the bank, but we have zero transfer budget, and we are over our wage budget. But I am hoping Season 1 we can ride the storm and basically get ourselves promoted, and then finances should be able to fix themselves. So what we are going to do is we are going to jump forward to, I believe, just before the first game of the season, because I think if we have a look, we can go calendar, we can see when the transfer window closes. It closes on the 29th of March, and then the season kicks off on the 31st. So yeah, we'll jump forward to when the transfer window closes to see what business we've done. There's no easy way of saying this. We haven't really done anything at all. We've loaned out a lot of young players. I'm going to try, because we're trying to build a nation, I'm going to try and utilise using the development list and basically send players like this man here out on loan to teams in Sweden. I don't care what division they're in, as long as they get some football, get some playing time, hopefully develop, hopefully just improve some of these sides as well. That is the ultimate goal. We need to basically make everyone else around us also improve. We did a Building a Nation save earlier on in FM24 with Romania, and we kind of made ourselves really good and not too many other teams. We need to kind of focus on getting other teams also to be good, but we're in Season 1, so there's a long road ahead. So tactically, what we're going to go for this season, in fact, for probably this save, is the 4-2-3-1 Black Panther formation, link in the description, because basically, it's really good. I've loved this formation since probably about a month or two into the FM24 cycle, and we've kind of stuck with it in every single save, so that is what we're going to go with. And you probably noticed we haven't locked in any players, and I don't think I'm going to do that anytime soon, unless we get somebody come through a youth intake who's, say, a left winger, who we want to train to be a striker or a defensive midfielder or something stupid like that, then we might start locking players in. But right now, we don't need to worry about that. And if we look at our squad planner and do best 11, star rating-wise, we are kind of lacking in a couple of positions. Simon Bengston as our left back is only 2.5 star, but he's only 18 years of age, so I'm kind of okay with that. Benjamin Aqua as our attacking midfielder, only 22 years of age as well, Ghanaian striker. So we've still got a very young side. Benjamin Orn, 18 years old, our best right back at 2 star. I'm kind of okay with our best right back being 2 star at 18 years of age. If he was 33 and 2 star, then we'd have some problems. So in the First Division Elite, we are expected to finish 11th. I'm not convinced that's right. I'm genuinely not convinced that's right. I think when we picked the team, they were predicted to finish first. As in, when you appoint yourself as manager, it was like, where are they going to finish? Media prediction was first. For some reason, we're now down in 11th place. I don't trust that. I'm predicting sort of top 3. And top 3 is enough to get us promoted. Top 2 is definite promotion. Third place, if I'm not mistaken, is a playoff, which is against the team in the upper division who finish, I think, 14th. So, hypothetically, if we were third, we'd be playing Malmo in a promotion playoff. I think we should be good enough to go up in first or second place. Also, I just want to point out how mad the Swedish Premier Division is when it comes to league winners and teams kind of up and around that position in the table. So, Häcken, Malmo, Djurgården, AIK, Norrköping, Elfsborg, Helsingborg, Kalmar, and Djurgårdens again, actually, have all won it in the last 20 years. That's a lot of different teams. IFK Gothenburg as well, winning it as well. It's lots and lots of teams have won this league, which is good news because it means it's quite open. So if we do get promoted, we might actually be in for a good shout of not winning the league, let's be honest, but having a decent run, maybe finishing top half, maybe even getting into Europe in Season 2. Anyway, we are now going to jump forward to the midway point in the season, which I believe is there. It is actually 15 games in, should be 15 games in. We're going to jump forward anyway to the halfway point, see how well things go. We do have a bit of a winter break as well in Sweden. Bear in mind, our seasons do run from March until November. March until November. So, when we do get into Europe, it's going to be like this weird straddled Europe where we start halfway through the season and then the knockout rounds of competitions start at the beginning of the next season for us. It's a weird thing. We'll deal with it when we get there. So we're not quite halfway through the season. We're only 11 games in. Halfway will be 15 games, but we are in third place currently, a fair old distance behind first place. It's actually 5 points behind first place. Landskrona might be their name. They won 9, drawn 1 and lost 1. We've won 7, drawn 2 and lost 2. But we're still up the right end of the table. GIF Sundsvall, Helsingborg and GAIS, maybe, or GAIS, could be just an acronym, couldn't it, are basically up in the top 4 fighting. Maybe even the team in 5th as well might be involved. But we're kind of still in a good place at the moment, which I'm happy with. Now, I should have come back a little bit later on, because on the 7th of July, the transfer window opens. Basically, because this is now like the regular normal European season transfer window, opens on the 7th of July, and then we've got a transfer window that lasts for nearly 2 months, and then on September, it basically goes back to the transfer window being closed, much like the rest of Europe. So we're going to jump forward to the end of this transfer window to see if we can do any business financially. We still have no money. In fact, we've got a lot less money in the bank than we started with as well, which is not good. We're over our wage budget. If we're going to be bringing anybody in, we probably need to shift somebody on first, and we don't really have a lot of players who are on either high wages or high value. I mean, Wilhelm Loper, maybe. He's good, though. I don't want to get rid of Loper. I mean, we've got some high-valued players. He's our number 1 goalkeeper that I definitely don't want to sell. So, yeah, it's kind of difficult. I don't think we're going to be selling anyone. We'll see what happens. We did sell somebody. We sold Daniel Bergman, a 19-year-old Peruvian central midfielder. Peruvian? Is he really... He's really from Peru? I'm so confused. Anyway, he's been sold to Halmstad for £22,000, potentially up to £22,000, and it has meant that we've been able to rejig some stuff. We put some more money into our wages, and we brought in 2 veteran footballers. Neither of them are Swedish. One of them is from England, and the other one is from Senegal. Kara Mbodj, a 33-year-old Senegalese centre-back, 47 caps, 5 goals, can also play as a defence midfielder, has joined the club on a free transfer, on a 1.5-year deal, technically. I think he's just left, potentially maybe just left a team in Qatar. Maybe not. He might have been available at the start of the season, but he's come in on a free transfer. And I think this is a good bit of business because as a centre-back, he's one of our best centre-backs now, alongside Wilhelm Nilsson and John Berkveld. And our other new signing is Danny Rose. He's now 33, 29 England caps, obviously. Left back, used to be a left winger. Arguably, he should be more natural as a left winger because technically that's where he started playing. We brought him in, like I said, free transfer. He got released from Watford, maybe in real life. I don't know. I think it was in real life, wasn't it? So yeah, Danny Rose has come in. He's already played once for us and got a 6.2 rating. Absolutely cracking new signing, that one. And that is all of the transfer business that we have done. We've loaned out a few more young players to other teams. Right now, I don't expect any of these players going out on loan to turn into world-class footballers or even good footballers, but going out on loan kind of just thins the numbers, helps some of the other sides. Maybe players like him might get a bit better. Arguably, probably never will. When it comes to the league, we're now 19 games in, so we are beyond the halfway point. We have got a game in hand, which if we win, is good enough to put us top of the table, and we are playing the team down in 6th place, I believe, Östers. So if we were to win that game, we will move up to the top of the table, which is very good. Basically, Landskrona have lost lots more games, including a 2-0 defeat against us. Actually, that 2-0 defeat was back in May, so ignore what I've just said. We are also in the Swedish Cup, which confuses me, because the Swedish Cup spans across 2 seasons. We play the first couple of rounds, and by first couple, we play the second cup round. I believe there's a first one which we don't play in. We play that this season, and then at the start of next season, it goes into a group stage. I don't know why this is a thing, but apparently this is a thing. And I'm assuming because Sweden is an official league in the game, this must be how it is in real life, which is just weird to me. I do want to call out as well, on the 1st of September, Amar Musin is a 25-year-old Iraqi striker with 5 caps and 3 goals to his name. Is currently our top goal scorer with 20 goals in just 17 starts. That's a lot of goals. No one else is really scoring. We've got Silva Rasmussen, who's got 7 and 8 assists, and he's our second top goal scorer. Literally, Musin is the only man scoring goals for us, and he is basically propelling us to the top of the league table, which is obviously very, very good to see. Right then, next up, the only thing we have left to do is jump to the end of the season. We will also be getting ourselves our first youth intake, which, by the way, if we have a look here, this is the youth intake that we got at the start of the game to fill out our squads. And we've got 1, 2, 3 players who are arguably good enough to play first team football. Merbeck he's come off the bench 15 times and scored a goal. Has Kim Lundberg. Kim Lundberg started 17 games in attack and midfield. And Stenberg as well has played a couple of matches up front. So I feel like we might have kind of cheated, but I didn't have anything to do with this. They just gave us some really good players. I'm not expecting our next youth intake to be anywhere near as good as this, but we will find out. Let's jump towards the end of the season. I say towards, let's jump to the end of the season, see how well things have gone. Have we got ourselves promoted, and have we got ourselves a half-decent youth intake as well? So on the 1st of December, yes, we have got ourselves promoted, finishing second place in the table, 2 points behind Landskrona. We are 1 point ahead of GAIS as well, who did also get themselves promoted through the relegation promotion playoff thing, with the team who would have finished in 15th in the top division, which would be Värnamo, sure, that's what they're called. So we are into the Swedish Premier Division at the first time of asking, which is very, very good. And I think I mentioned earlier about the different champions. Halmstads have now joined this list. They haven't won the league since 1997 was the last time Halmstads won the league, and they've just won it in 2023. Next season, maybe we could be on that list. So looking at our youth candidates, it's quite difficult to see who's new, because we've got the old players and new players. I believe if we have a look here, we can't tell, because some of these people, like, is he a new man? Is he new or is he old? I don't know. We've got so many players that have come in. I don't think we've got anyone who's like 2.5 star ability, but the elite talent list has got a lot bigger. If we go to our under 18s or under 19 squad, we've got a lot of 16-year-olds, but some of these, he's 15, he could be good. I feel like we're just going to have to ride the wave with this youth intake and see who rises to the top. There's going to be some players like Kochi, not quite sure what his name is. He could be good. 2-star current ability, 4.5 star potential, just 16 years of age. He could rise to the top. We're just going to have to wait and see with this youth intake, because like I said, it's a mess. I mean, there's a lot of players here to have a look at. Even somebody like this man here could be good. I've got no idea. So Season 1 is in the bag. We have been promoted back to the First Division. I mentioned this earlier, the Swedish Cup. Yeah, this happens next season. We've got AIK, we've got Värnamo, and we've got Östers in our group. And then it goes into knockout rounds after the group, which I think goes straight into the semi-final. Not quite sure. Anyway, we'll deal with that next season. Financially, we're in debt, but I think we are due to get a nice big chunk of money from sort of television rights and various things like that. We have a small transfer budget. It's not big enough to do anything with, but we have a fairly sizable wage budget, which is actually well over double what we are currently spending. So there might be a lot of investment in free transfers in the next season in the hope that we can stay up. Maybe outside chance we can get ourselves into European football as well. And just before we finish this episode, Sweden currently ranked 22nd in the coefficients table, and we basically just need to do well into Europe. I don't think they're going to be moving anywhere. They are moving up. They are moving up a couple of places, up to 20th. They're moving up to 20th, although we're halfway through the season. So it's a bit of a weird thing. Because we're halfway through the season, we're going to find out. I haven't thought this through. I genuinely haven't thought this through. Anyway, let's have just qualification places. Let's just jump to that. Currently, 1 team into the Champions League, 1 team into the Europa League, and then 2 teams into the Europa Conference League, which I'm going to assume 3 qualification spots go to the league and 1 goes to the Swedish Cup, which is perfectly fine. We will have to worry about that next season. But that is going to do it then for Season 1 with our Helsingborg side. Season 2, back to the top division and hopefully pushing for Europe.